Hey, hello, welcome to Bringing the Thunder. My name is Emily, I'll be your host for the session, and with me I have the lovely guest Michiel. Michiel, welcome, great to have you again. Because you already recorded some sessions, but maybe can you quickly introduce yourself very briefly?
I'm Michiel Salm, I'm a solution architect in Skyline, almost for 10 years now. Last time we spoke about MediaOps already a bit.
Yeah.
We created a pool and some resources, and today we're going to talk about how we can make our resources also assign some capabilities to them so that we can select the right resource for
Okay, so we'll hands on what we did in the previous kata session. So maybe community, if you haven't seen them yet, have a look at the previous kata where we indeed made a pool, assigned some resources and scheduled our first job. And we'll use that to build on top of, right?
Yes, exactly.
All right, let's dive into it.
Okay, so as last time, we're back again in Resource Studio.
This is on our demo system, mediaops.dataminer.services.
Yes, so it's accessible for everyone that has a DataMiner.services account. Through single sign-on, you can sign into this DataMiner system and play around on it. Yeah. So you need to take into account as well, other people will be playing around with these things, so they might interfere with each other.
Yeah, okay.
Today we're going to talk about assigning some capabilities, what our devices can do. So we have two cameras, and we want to say which camera can do what. In our example, we're going to use the resolution. So one camera is able to record in 4K, the other one in 8K. So we want to assign those capabilities to these resources here in our pool.
Okay. So to the left, you select a pool.
Yes.
So we have your pool of cameras. Then on the right, we see the resources in there, the cameras.
Inside of the pool.
Yeah.
But before we can assign any resources to our cameras, we will need to create our capability. So here on the left-hand side, we have a capability management page. So if we go to that page, you can see there are already some capabilities available in the system, but we're going to create our own. So here on the top left, you have new capability, similar as we had with the pools, and then we can give it a name. So I'm going to use my credentials again, so I know it's my capability.
To make it unique to the demo system.
Yes. MSA, and I'm going to call this one maybe camera resolution.
So capability is really a specific functionality of a device.
Yes, what the device can do, what it's capable of. Yeah. So before we can say this device is capable of this capability and which value it has, we need to create a capability. So in our case, we're defining a capability camera resolution. And then you can see there are some options here. Is mandatory. This one is basically then if you would search for a camera, it means that the operator must define the resolution before being able to select the camera.
Okay.
In our case, we're going to disable it for now. And then you also have here the is time dependent. That's more if the capability can be, for example, a steerable antenna, and you want to point it to a satellite.
Yeah.
You say, okay, this antenna is capable of pointing to that satellite, but the moment I use this steerable antenna to point to that satellite, it can be used multiple times by other people, but they need to use the same satellite as long as they overlap with my job.
Okay.
That's already a bit more advanced.
That's already, yeah. Okay.
So we're not going to touch that one here. But then here in our camera resolution, we're going to define some options. We have the HD resolution, we have 4K, and we have 8K. So these are basically the options that we have to assign to our resources for camera resolution.
So the resolution is capability, and in there they can then select which kind of resolution that camera can handle.
Yes. Then I'll click the add button and you will see that my capability appeared here in the list. And if I click on it, I can see the values inside of this capability.
Okay. And I see some other capabilities as well. Can you quickly give an example? Location?
Yes, for example, a location could be a capability. So you if your device is located in a different location and you're searching for a device, I'm just saying something, we need our camera in United States, or we need our camera in the UK.
Okay.
We don't want to ship a camera from the States to the UK, so we're gonna search for a camera that's already located in a specific location.
Yeah, okay.
Then if we go back now here to the resources view, this is one of the, in my opinion, the easiest to assign capabilities. So you will see a big flat list of all our resources. So I'm gonna use a filter here on the left-hand side.
So now it's not sorted per pool or group per pool, it's just this is everything available.
All the resources in the system. So I'm gonna use the filter and I'm gonna use my initials because luckily I used my initials on these resources. I could also search for camera. But then here, if I select one of these resources, on the right-hand side, I can see the capabilities these resources have, the capacities or the properties. I'm gonna select here my camera, and then on the capabilities, I can click this edit button, and this will allow me then to give capabilities to this camera.
Okay, and we specified resolution a couple of minutes ago, and now it's in here.
Yes. So now I selected my camera resolution, and then I need to select which option or options this camera can support. I'm gonna say this one can support HD and 4K, so I can define it then on the camera which one to use.
Oh, and you can also add multiple capabilities. For example,
Yes.
location, you could also...
I could add, for example, location here as well and say, okay, my camera is available in London. And then if I click on update, you will see here on the right-hand side the capabilities that we chose that this resource can do.
Okay.
If I then select my other camera, I'm gonna say this one can do both HD, 4K and 8K. So this is a more expensive camera. And I'm gonna update this as well. So now you will see here on the right-hand side that this camera has also some capabilities.
Okay, so first we defined the capability, defined it, and then within the resources we can assign it to the equipment.
Indeed.
Okay.
As we said before and we did in the previous session, so we have our camera pool with our two resources in there.
Yeah.
So now if we want to book them, we can go back to the scheduling app.
Yes, so that's the second app that's used for the day-to-day operations to book your jobs.
Yes, to reserve your resources for a specific job. And now if we will click here on the resource view, like we said last time, that might be the easiest way to reserve our resource. So I'm gonna search for my pool, MSA camera, and then I can see here my two resources. And if I'm saying, okay, I need an 8K camera, I have here the filter on top. And if I would say, okay, it's my camera resolution and I need an 8K camera, if I apply, I will see it filters down my resources.
Then you have only the resources available or shown that do have that capability.
Yes, indeed, that do 8K. If I would say 4K, for example, then I will see both my cameras are available because they can all both do 4K.
Yeah, okay.
Now, if I would select my resource and I create a new job, I'm gonna say England versus Belgium. I'm gonna say it for a couple of hours. I'm gonna set the desired state to tentative again to make sure I reserve my resources.
So they will be available, nobody else goes run with them.
Indeed. Do note, if you don't want to set it every time manually to tentative, there is also a setting to always save your jobs or by default fill in this drop down with tentative.
Okay.
So now if I create my job, I will see here my job.
Okay.
If I go now inside of my job here through the pencil, then you will see here my camera is on there. I can here also say that the resolution has to be 4K, for example. And if I do that on this page, then that capability must always be available on this camera. If I would go back to Resource Studio and I would say this camera is no longer capable of doing 4K for whatever reason, maybe your license expired or whatever, then this job will go in alarm because that 4K is no longer available.
It's missing that resource that you originally assigned to it. It's no longer available, and then you get a notice.
And this green check mark indicates then that there is some configuration saved on this job. If I would now want to say, okay, I actually need 8K and I update this one, I will also get an error message because the camera I have currently selected is not capable of doing 8K.
Okay.
So if I would want 8K, I need to switch to another resource. So again, here on the arrows in the circle, and I click on that one to swap. I can click here on the configuration, change it to 8K, apply, and then you will see if I select this one and I swap, that both my configuration will be changed as long with the selected resource.
Okay.
So that's it in a nutshell on how you can use capabilities on your job.
Yeah. So to just recap for myself as well, first in the Resource Studio, we defined the capabilities. In the Resource Studio, we assigned it to the resources we had. And here with the job, you can select with a filter to find the right equipment for your job, right?
Yes. Something else that is also maybe worth mentioning, from the moment you have a lot of resources, a lot of pools, it might be that you get a lot of capabilities and capacities, and not all of them might be applicable for your pool. So now if I click on this button, you can see I can actually select, for example, fiber bandwidth, server bandwidth, configuration that has nothing to do with a camera. So if I want to avoid that all parameters are available to configure on this resource pool, I can go back to Resource Studio.
Yeah, because you now mentioned both capabilities but also capacities. We haven't touched that one yet.
No, indeed. So capacities are similar to capabilities, but it's basically a value that you need for that one. The best example I can give probably is an interface. Like a network cable is capable of doing 10 gigs per second. And then if you would need, for example, 2 gigs per second, you can reserve already 2 gigabytes per second. Okay. And then if there is still sufficient capacity available, other people could use the same resource. But of course, the concurrency has to be set high enough to ensure that it can be used simultaneously.
So concurrency is the amount of times it's used, and capacity really takes into account the loads on a certain thing.
How much capacity is available.
You picked the naming correctly.
So what we wanted to do here, so on the resource pool page, we have our MSA camera.
The pool?
Yes, and there you have like a context menu under these 3 dots. So if you click on that one, you will see edit parameters. And here I can actually define for this specific pool, for my camera pool, what are parameters that make sense. So if I say, okay, it is antenna type, doesn't matter. I'm going to select, for example, my camera resolution and location, for example, and I update this one and I go back to my scheduling application. Then normally if I go here into my job, I have here England versus Belgium. That was the job I created. If I go to the edit panel of this job, now here, if I would open the configuration panel again, you will see that only the parameters can be selected that I have defined on my resource.
So only the ones that make sense and that we configured. Okay.
This might be more digestible for operators if they don't want to be cluttered with all the other parameters.
There's not a huge drop down with all the possibilities, we're just limited to that resource.
Indeed.
Very nice, very user-friendly.
Yes, and then maybe as a last thing, as I mentioned, if you create new jobs, you can define some defaults up front.
Yeah.
On the left-hand side here, you have a cogwheel in the scheduling app, and you can here define configuration of the job defaults.
And it was when you mentioned with the tentative that you can have that all shown by default.
Yes. So then here you could say I'm always going to create by default my jobs in a tentative state. You could also define a default pre or post role. And then if I now would go back and I go to my camera pool here again, and I would create a new job, then you will see here by default, it's already giving a tentative. And now if I would create this one, then immediately the job will be created as tentative.
Okay, can make it easier for the operators, so you don't always need to click that.
Indeed.
Okay, nice. We already dove a bit deeper in the possibilities of the MediaOps. Okay. You have something else to share or show us? Or is this a good start for the exercise?
I think for the people at home, if they can do this is already quite something. So if they can send in maybe a screenshot with the configuration they applied on their job, with the capability that they have created and assigned to their resource that they used to filter down their resources, I think they earned some DevOps points.
Yeah, okay. So we expect to, again, to recap, define the capability, assign it to a resource, and have it configured in a job as a booking. Okay, go ahead. If you followed along or not yet, make the exercise, send those your screenshots, and we'll reward you with some DevOps points. I'm very glad we had this session, and it makes me even curious on what's next. Can you already give a small hint on what the next kata will be about?
Yeah, people do play an important role when we are trying to deliver services.
Yeah.
So we also have a dedicated app to define organizations, peoples, and teams, and then how we can use people inside of jobs as contacts or as people that need to do something inside of the job. So we can even reserve people as well because they're also a valuable resource.
Yeah.
To be added to a job.
So we keep enhancing our jobs with more and more specifics. Okay, I'm looking forward to it. I hope you do too. I hope you learned something this kata, and we'll see you the next one. Bye!